So we're looking at how ancient Israel understood the flood story, and it looks nothing like the way we read it. They believed that waters were dangerous. They believed that God restrained the waters beneath and the waters in the heavens, and that if God in his wrath released his wrath, he would pull back, and these violent waters, and they believed they were violent, would erupt. And then to help it along, they believed that there were these powerful, evil, cosmic powers, violent, living in the waters beneath, in the deep. Remember, the fountains of the deep exploded. Now we're going to see that Leviathan lives in the deep. And look what he does in the waters, and just see how strong Leviathan and how violent he is. Leviathan, he lives in the waters. Job 41:1 English Standard Version. Can you, Job, draw out Leviathan with a fish hook? Where does Leviathan live? In the water. Job, you're just a human. You can't control Leviathan. No human can. That's what he's saying. Only he can. Only God can. Leviathan, who lives in the waters, is so violently powerful that even the gods, yes, the divine council, you'll see it all links up, even the gods, the divine councils, are scared of Leviathan. Same chapter, Job 41:25, in the New Revised Standard Version. Look, when Leviathan raises itself up, the gods are afraid. What? When Leviathan raises itself up, the whole chapter is about Leviathan, by the way, yeah? When Leviathan raises itself up from where? You're going to see in a minute, when he's in the water, the gods are afraid. The divine council are scared of Leviathan when it raises itself up? Yes. The gods are afraid. At the crashing of Leviathan, they are beside themselves. Leviathan is one powerful, violent dude. Even the gods are scared of Leviathan when it raises itself up and crashes in the water. Why? It just puts on a good surf, maybe a tidal wave. When Leviathan raises itself up in the water and then crashes back in the water, the gods are afraid and they go insane. They are beside themselves. This Leviathan creature, power, is so violently strong that even the divine council is scared when it raises up and then crashes in the water. Why? A little bit of flooding? Are you getting it? They believed that Leviathan lived in the water. Even the gods were scared. It's so powerful. Why? A tidal wave, maybe a tsunami, maybe a flood. There's more. Job 41:31 and 32 English Standard Version. It tells us specifically that Leviathan lives in the deep. And the fountains of the great deep in Genesis burst forward. Well, guess who's inside the fountains of the great deep? Leviathan makes the deep boil like a pot. He makes the sea like a pot of ointment. Leviathan lives in the deep. He makes the deep boil. And when he's able to raise himself up and then crash back into the deep again, the gods get scared of the disaster, of the waves, of the crashing caused by Leviathan. And they are so scared, they are beside themselves. God is controlling and restraining Leviathan. This is what Job 41 is all about. God tells Job, I've got my hands full here controlling this dude. Even the divine council was scared of him because of the disaster he can cause. So if you're an ancient Israelite You knew that when the fountain of the deep break forth, up comes Leviathan. God has stepped back and removed his restraining power on Leviathan, and he rises up and he crashes, and the gods are scared and they go crazy. The flood. If you were an Israelite reading the flood story, this is what you believed. Now, you can reject this if you want. But when we get to the New Testament, Leviathan is identified. Then it makes more sense from the Christian perspective. Leviathan is mentioned in Psalm 74, 13 and 14. Look what it says. You, God, divided the sea by your might. This is talking about when God divided the Red Sea. Who lived in the waters? You get it, right? These violent, evil superpowers. You divided the sea by your might. And when he did, what happened when he divided the sea? You broke the heads of the sea monsters on the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan. What? When God divides the waters, he is crushing sea monsters and the heads of Leviathan. So when God acts on water, he's using his divine power to keep Leviathan and other sea monsters, including Rahab, in place. So when Israel passed through the Red Sea, they knew God is attacking the domain of Leviathan and the sea monsters. Wow. So when waters come, it's cosmic evil powers, violent ones, attacking. When the waters subside or divide, God's taking control. Or when he causes them to be still, God is taking control. This was how Israel thought when Moses wrote the flood story. And that's why in Deuteronomy 31:17, and I'll say it again, in that time when God releases his wrath by hiding his face, by withdrawing, all these evils and troubles and disasters come upon us because our God is not upon us, is not with us. The violent waters, together with Rahab, the sea monsters, and Leviathan, when God pulls back his restraining power, pulls back his spirit, a worldwide flood. And that's how ancient Israel understood the story of the flood. Isaiah 27:1. It gets it. Look, we'll take that up next time. God bless you.